Look at my hands. This is definitely not a dream. And I'm starting to doubt the others were dreams too. I should be scared, but it's hard to explain what I feel, but it isn't fear. Not a bit.
Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Call of the Sea. So, Norah just mentioned that she feels very at home. She should be afraid, even though she's transmogrified into a fish person. A scary fish mutant thingy. But yeah, apparently she feels just fine and dandy. Alright, well, good for her. Well, we can surface, and we don't appear to have much trouble breathing. However, we have no means to get out of this.
Another one of those gates, like the one I saw in the temple.
Alright, well, apart from the nice coral and the seaweed and the kelp, there's nothing to do here. So, if one of those purple gates, like we saw, took us into this water world, then maybe this one will take us out. Perhaps the reason why Harry got stuck there is because maybe he hadn't been transformed by the ooze, the black ooze yet. So maybe that's why his hand wasn't compatible. Notice when you put your hand on it, it covers your hand, your arm, in the black stuff, in the black stuffs. So maybe that's why it works for Norah, because she is already infected with this black ooze somehow. Let's try it. Yep, that's what it does.
I'm back to being me.
Well, indeed, this black ooze has mutagenic properties. Turns people into fishies.
It's hard for me to understand how these gates work. What happens every time I cross one of them?
You turn into a fish, and if you go back the other way, then you turn back into human. Well, here's another one. This will probably take us underwater. Yep. More lovely sea life down here. This looks like some kind of artificial opening. But apparently there is a current coming out of it, pushing against us. So what does this thing down here do?
Another panel of this strange technology. What's it for? Something related to the currents?
She takes notes, but you cannot open your journal underwater because obviously it would get all the pages wet and the ink would run and all that, and it would just ruin the lovely journal. How she's keeping it dry while she's underwater, assuming that it's still on her, I don't know. How she's writing in her journal to take notes while she's underwater, I do not know, but whatever. Let's not worry about such things. So in this thing, you can rotate it the other way. One of two ways. If you hit this button here, well, it plays a note, and some of that blackish green stuff moves toward the center. How about the other side? Same thing. Well, we know that the black ooze, especially when it turns black and green, it levitates things. It seems to affect the technology itself. So it seems to power the technology, if you will. Maybe if we hit these buttons so that the green-black ooze arrives in the center portion of the circle at the same time, maybe that'll do something. So this one will take the longest, it has the most turns. This one on the left side is the most direct route. So let's try to see if we can time it correctly. Aha! That seemed to have did something. Ah, there we go. So based on the orientation of those petals, it changes the direction of the current.
Wow. The island is pierced by underground currents.
Yes, clearly. Alright, well, let's get out of the water here. Let's get dry. Okay, so we've taken an underground current to another...
That architecture again. Where is this gate going to lead me now?
to another cavern. Looks like a sinkhole of some sort.
What a quiet and peculiar place.
Well, we have, looks like some huts here. Some handprints. Waterfalls. Different markings. Let's take a look around. What's this thing? Just press that button and it moves down.
Some sort of handmade tribal painting. Looks really primitive.
Yes, the good old cave paintings. All right. So to control the water currents, this changes direction. Presumably when the thing is rotated down and the arrow is pointing down, that's where it changes direction to point towards you. If the arrow is pointed up, then it's going to change the direction so it's going away from you. All right, let's go back and read her journal here. In any case, there's no turning back now. I have to go ahead and find him and find the answers to the questions I still have. I know I should be scared about what's happening to me, but I'm not. Truth is, it's been a long time since I felt so alive. In the water, I could see my hands. They had turned into bizarre amphibian hands, although I recognized them as my own. It's hard to put it down to words, but it was as if I were another version of myself. I've lost track of time in this place. I feel like I could stay here forever. As strange as it might seem, I feel a strange harmony with these surroundings. Everything reacts when I'm close, as if every living entity here in this lagoon welcomed me. I activated some more of those gates, like the one in the mountaintop temple, and, well, I don't know how to put it into words, but I can breathe and move freely underwater. The currents took me to what looks like a town, a sort of cylindrical pit, with houses all around the walls. It's much more modest than the ruins I saw earlier. Well, indeed, they do appear to be more modest.
I wonder who used to live here. It seems it was abandoned ages ago.
Well, they've got a pit here, a cistern with looks like black ooze in it.
I understood that.
We father, we mother. Look like some overlords of something. What have we here? It's very pretty, I must say. Some more huts. Nothing appears to be in this one. We got some purple circles here. What's this?
The inhabitants of this village lived at different altitudes. Some even lived inside the water. They used this sort of dam to lower or raise the water level.
So it's a dam, huh?
Some slaves died. Some slaves now water.
Water animal. Is that what I am now? It seems that each family had to agree somehow to change the water level. I'm amazed at how organized they seem to be, despite them being so primitive. Being trapped here probably made them stronger as a community.
Alright, so each family living here could change the water level. But it appears that this civilization engaged in some kind of slavery. I wonder what this button does. Well, apparently it does nothing. Does something. I mean, it moves those pillars up and down, and she mentioned that this was a dam of some sort. Question is, how do we make it work, I guess? Let's explore the rest of these huts here. There seem to be multiple levels here.
Who made these marks? They look quite old.
There's another marker. I'm going to avoid touching any more of those markers there. Here's that there's different hash marks on them as well.
We slaves, masters,
Heaven, slaves and masters and... Nicole. Wasn't Nicole in the notes?
Yes, Nicole was the ancient civilization, it said. There's a small sink filled with black ooze. I heard some voices calling me, and they sound similar to the ones in my dream. But this time I understood what they were saying. Things are changing, Norah. Things are changing. Yes, at the very beginning of the game, you could hear this voice calling out, and now she can understand it. Interpret it in English, as it were.
Although they are the same style, these huts are much simpler than the magnificent architecture I've seen up to now.
Yes, you've mentioned that. Oh, look, more murals.
Whoever the inhabitants were, they were living here against their will.
Yes, seems like this is the master. They were slaves. Faces on these are scratched out.
Someone vandalized this mural. Some hands look human, but others are amphibian hands.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's go up here, see what's up here. Another water marker.
It's quite disturbing to see someone's hand paintings from thousands of years ago. I feel connected to them somehow. It's quite disturbing to see someone's hand paintings from thousands of years ago.
fire falls from the sky, awakens God, black blood.
Is that black blood the same thing as the black ooze?
So a fire rock fell. A meteor? A meteor fell to Earth, and it had the black ooze in it.
How can I explain what's happening to me? What is the meaning of all this? God's blood, transformation, eternal life. I feel like I'm going through what was written in that inscription.
Indeed. So it seems like whatever's transforming her, I'm guessing maybe came from a meteor from outer space. Again, more of that cosmic Lovecraftian horror. Indeed. Got some yellow handprints here.
This reminds me of some prehistoric cave paintings. Like in the Cueva de los Manos in South America.
And more black ooze.
Black blood in eyes, like in the well.
Indeed. So they forced the slaves to apparently go through this ritual and turn them into amphibian peoples. The masters, anyway. So the Nakal was a slave-based society with masters. They found this black ooze from a meteor, and they subjugated people, made them into slaves, transformed them into fish people through a ritual that was apparently forced upon them, and yeah, made a civilization out of it. And gee, yeah, not unlike any other, civilization that wields a significant amount of power. Story as old as time itself, huh? Alright, we're at the very bottom here.
There are some hand marks made with pigments. I wonder if they mean something. I better draw them just in case.
These hand markings, similar to the ones that we've seen in those huts, are also drawn on these pillars. Alright, there are murals like the ones I saw before, but they've been defaced. Without a doubt, the people who lived here were the victims of the rituals. Alright, symbol order. Well, we're missing the purple squiggly ones. So, I mean, we saw the purple spirals up there, so maybe we can get those. Hold on a second.
The inhabitants of this village lived at different altitudes. It seems that each family had to agree somehow to change the water level. I'm amazed at how organized they seem to be, despite them being so primitive. Being trapped here probably made them stronger as a community.
Alright, well, for some weird reason, there's a bug or a glitch here. It won't let me take this down here. Anyway, so these seem to be all the symbols, and you can see on these pillars, there's also the purple ones. So, by logic, therefore, we have white hands, orange hands, red hands, some kind of green hash marks, and I guess up here at the very top would be the purple symbols. So it says symbol order. I wonder if, based on like the ones we first found, we don't know if it goes top to bottom or bottom to top, but let's try bottom to top. I got a feeling, maybe. These are like the low people, the slaves, presumably, so maybe it would start here at the bottom. We know that each of these has a marker, a button associated with it, so maybe if we click it in this order, and then click that key, then maybe that'll operate the dam. So we need to do the white hands, the orange hands, the red hands, the green marks, and then the purple spirals. So the white hands were back here near the entrance. So maybe if we start with this one. Then on to the orange hands. Those are at the very top. So we gotta do some backtracking, some running again. Run all up and down this pit here. Run all over the stone village, if you will. Here's the red hands. The orange hands should be above. Yep, these are the orange hands slash yellow hands. Then the red hands, right down here. Then the green marks, and presumably the purple spirals last. The green ones. I think it's right here. There we go. And last but not least, the purple spirals that for some reason we can't make a mark or tally of. Most peculiar. It's probably that one up there. Alright, let's give this a shot then. Shall we? Well, that seemed to do it. Alright. So there we go. All you have to do is just hit those markers in the correct order. This is commonly known as the water level puzzle. Thankfully, it's actually pretty easy to figure out. You just need to do it in the correct order, bottom to top, not top to bottom. It's just annoying that you have to run all over the village to hit the markers in the correct order, but luckily it doesn't endlessly have you run back and forth and back and forth. And luckily, the water level puzzle is a hell of a lot simpler than another water level puzzle where you're changing the level of water. Like, I don't know, some game called Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in the Water Temple. But anyway, that's, that's in the past, the trauma of the puzzles in that temple. This one was much easier, I will say. So let's see what this does, if this changes the water level.
This civilization used these devices to raise and lower the water level. It's impressive.
Yes, very good of them. They managed to build a dam. Water drainage. Alright, the people who lived in this sunken town were able to adjust the water level at will. Were they people like me? Is that why I feel so at home here? Is that the reason this is so familiar to me? Well, we got another purple portal, so let's head into the water, presumably. Alright, looks like we got more of those, more of these water direction passage thingamadoodads. Oh, that appeared to open up a door down there. This one goes deep. We have some sunken ruins here, essentially. Fishies. And the door closed there. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have to figure out a way to time that. Let's look at this mural here.
they rebelled against their masters. The slaves seemed to worship two gods.
Okay, so there was a rebellion. There's a hut down here. Apparently the black ooze is thicker than water, or denser than water. Floats right to the bottom, apparently.
So these creatures are immortal? This looks like an altar dedicated to two figures. I can hear them talking to me.
Yeah, these look like offerings of coral or some sort. So the Naka, the fish people, were enslaved and they rebelled. And then they are free. They're immortal, though. Very interesting. What's this over here?
Isn't this the tiara from... wait, I can't remember the name of my hometown.
Yeah, from the Newburyport exhibition that Harry was talking about, that he went and saw. He saw the tiara. Well, that is this chapter's secret item right there. In the previous chapter, the one was the postcard in Nora's home. And the one before that, in chapter 3, for the Lady Shannon, the secret item was the tin with the fisherman that looked like her uncle, she said.
Different types of creatures of the same species lived here, but they weren't free.
Nope, they weren't free. Some were undoubtedly turned into fish sticks. The others, caught and filleted. Others were kept in aquariums. Well, such is life.
This underwater town is a beautiful place, but it has also seen a lot of suffering. All the island is that way. Beautiful but dangerous. The danger does not seem to affect me, though.
Alright, we got another black ooze pit here. Sink.
The Sunken continent. Was that their punishment?
So did the gods punish them? Sink their continent like Atlantis? Well, that puts us into the door. We need to open that, though. There's a tunnel here. It's not flowing the correct way, though. Well, on each of these pillars here with the water, we can change the direction. So let's change this one so it's going the other way. Alright, let's give it a shot. That one appears to be going the right way. So if we take these things, we know that these accelerate the speed of our swim. So put this one, reverse the direction on this one, and if we hit the button for that door, Then we'll go right down through it. Speed right down through it in time before it closes. Alright, well that should do it. I think that's just about everything we found down here. Oh wait. Oh, that's the door. I was looking for more of those huts. I guess there's only 2 here. Well, apparently the fish people did live down here. Why they would need a hut, I don't know. Maybe this wasn't always underwater. Also, we have something up here. An air opening, but we can't get up there. Alright, well, let's see if we made the gateways the correct way. We have another gate opening there, but I don't believe we can get up in there either.
There's another one of those gates.
Yes, indeed. Alright, well, we've dilly-dallied enough. Let's give this a shot. Alright, the door's open. Let's swim like the Dickens.
I made it.
Well, we didn't have to pull quite an Indiana Jones before we got crushed and cut in half by the door. Question is, what's down here? There's another tunnel leading up here.
My illness has kept me from being happy. What I feel now is the complete opposite of being sick. I feel full of life and energy, even better than before my illness.
We are now at the gate that we saw through there. And here we are now. This is the other side of the lake at the very bottom. We previously lowered the water level, went through there, and did all that just so we can come up on the other side. Looky that. I'm sure you could probably read, you know, some big social commentary into the fact that Norah feels very free and alive and stuff when she's a fish person, into the idea of like kind of accepting yourself as your own identity and whatnot.
Now the water level is really low, so I can access that tunnel.
Alright, well, let's do it. We gotta find another way back into the water, and I suspect it's through here. Nice bioluminescent coral here. It's providing us with some convenient light.
These creatures lived like slaves, all their lives imprisoned and tortured in this place. Was it possible to live a decent life in here? If you've lived all your life in a prison, how would you know that you are a prisoner?
I don't know, maybe some people escaped and they said, hey, there's a world out there where you're not being beaten and tortured and subjugated. Who knows? Alright, this is the button that we pressed that opened the door and those gates that we went through. busted water direction changer thingy. Alright, let's go down this tunnel that we couldn't get through.
Now I can enter this tunnel.
Tunnel of love, no doubt. Ah, and another purple water gate. Watergate. I am not a crook. I'm not a crook. Alright, let's do this. Alright, down we go. If she's like amphibious, would she have to like, you know, equalize the pressure the deeper down she dives? The deeper dives she downs? Alright, let's change the direction on this one. Oh, mistimed it slightly. Alright, there we go.
This current is quite strong. I wonder where it will take me.
Oh, look at that, a giant squid or something. 20,000 leagues under the sea, apparently. Hope you're enjoying the ride here. This is all automatic, I'm not touching anything.
That was quite a ride, but it's over now.
All rides have to end sometime, Nora. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get back on dry land. We are in a completely different area now, obviously. We got more murals, obviously, to tell us the story.
That ladder. Someone set up camp in here.
You think? Gee, it might be Harry.
Looks like a means of transportation to get to that sanctuary.
Looks like they took a boat ride. Sanctuary, those look like stars. Alright, well, we got more notes here. Water drainage, this device opens the door, but only for a while. If I can aim all the currents in the right direction, I can get there in time. Again, it's weird, like, you have these in your notes, but you can't open your journal underwater. So, like, you literally have to figure this out yourself without any help. Luckily, it's very easy to do, but... Okay, I understand what they're saying. Yep, alright. There were 2 statues made of stone and mud on the bottom. It seemed that the people were leaving offerings in them. Was this how the people living here looked like? Big old fishy people? In a nod to kind of Lovecraftian fiction, you know, the way Nora looks, at least from her arms and her hands, and the way these statues look and all that, these people do somewhat resemble, I think they're called the Deep Ones in Lovecraftian lore, or the Fish People, or something like that. Again, I'm not super duper familiar with H.P. Lovecraft, with the works of H.P. Lovecraft, so I'm not intimately familiar with like the Cthulhu mythos and all the ins and outs of Lovecraftian fiction. I just know some of the basic stuff. So I may be wrong, of course. Yeah. I found the exit from the town and dived into a long underground current. That was incredible. I had never felt so free and full of life until now. I mean, it is kind of cool in a way. Like, I do recall myself, like, having one of those dreams where, like, you feel like you're free and you can move like as fast as you want and do anything you want. So my dream, and this is just me from personal experience, like my dream is one where I'm just running super fast. You know, I'm in this like kind of fantastical world, sort of like this in a way, you know, and there's like flying creatures around and I'm just like running and jumping from cliff to cliff and all that, and just yeah, I can like float through the air. So mine has nothing to do with swimming underwater. It has to do with kind of like flying and bounding and gliding and all that. So that was my dream of being free. Although that being said, I have no like illness like Nora's, so I'm not disabled in any way. I'm not sickly or anything like that. Anyway, that's my dream in a way. So in a way, I can kind of empathize and sympathize with Nora, having those dreams of, you know, where you just feel free and like you can do whatever. Yeah, in a world of your fantasy, as it were.
Seems to show two possible courses of action. One means transformation, and the other means death?
So, these slaves here, they're taken and they're transformed into fish people. And the other, there's no chief here, there's just a star or something. And they die? Got more slaves here. Let's see what is up this ladder here. There's candles, so yes, someone human was here prior to us.
What is this? This... Oh my god. Did I almost forget about Harry?
It's like she's in a Neverland or something, you know, she's slowly forgetting about her past. Nora, it's time to grow up. Be practical. A boat. Transportation.
Somebody painted these symbols on the wall. You followed the river from the temple summit, and it took you some days to find this entrance.
White Sand Beach. Teahoroa building raft. Ruins, useless. Where is the sanctuary? So he was searching for the sanctuary, couldn't find him in the ruins. Went back down to build a raft. Escaped the island.
A sanctuary? Harry, was that where you went?
The masters brought their slaves to a sanctuary by boat in order to perform the final stage of the ritual.
Oh dear, poor people. Is this why
It seems that the sanctuary was where the final stage of the ritual took place. Before I open Harry's letter, you can always tell Harry's letters. Before I do that, there was, something right here.
She doesn't seem to care much about Harry. And she doesn't seem to be thinking.
Harry's mental decline is more evident each day, but today he said he found out some place to carry out some ritual. I have to get to the bottom of this. I have to keep doing what I've been doing up to now. Listen to what he has to say and go along with him. I can't stand him, but I have to tread lightly because it's only him and me now, and the Black Ichor.
Harry, that look on your face. You look
Yeah,
deranged.
well, the journalist obviously snapped a photo of him at a bad time. When he was eating, maybe? I don't particularly like people taking pictures of me when I'm eating either.
They seem to loathe each
I
other.
can't stand your lunatic face. I can't stand the noise you make when you eat. I don't like listening to people eat either. It's called misophonia, you know? Certain sounds just irritate us. Like for me, it's chewing noises. Yeah, lip smacking. I hate that. I can't stand you. Well, I can't stand you either. So, there.
The sun is setting. It is so beautiful.
So this ladder got here somehow. It led me to another large hall with an opening to the exterior. There was another, Harry's camp. The shocking thing was that I had almost forgotten him. How could I forget my husband? I'm so sorry, my dear old pal. Harry and the remaining members of the expedition followed the river down from the mountain peak, and after wandering some days, they finally found this entrance. Harry scribbled these symbols on the wall. They must be important. Well, they set up a bench and watched the sunset or something? Let's read Harry's letter, shall we?
My dear old pal. It's only Cass and me now. I have much to thank her for, even if our friendship is worn thin due to hunger and fatigue. If she hadn't insisted so much, we'd never have convinced Aotearoa. He guided us as we followed the river down from the mountain peak. And that's how we found this entrance. And the mural. Maybe I can't undo what's happening to you, Norah, but I think I can try to become like you. The original inhabitants of this island took slaves to a sanctuary. And there, they performed a ritual. Aotearoa said the ritual was madness, and he didn't want any part of it. He and Cass argued, violently. When we woke up the next morning, he had left. I know it sounds strange, but you have to trust me, my love. I know this is going to work, and we can be together. You understand what that means, don't you, Norah? We have a second chance. With more love than ever, Harry.
Harry? What ritual are you talking about? Why on earth would you want to become like me? Please don't be a fool. You don't even know if that ritual of yours is going to work.
Alright, well, Harry sounds like he's about to go off and do something drastic. We must stop him, apparently. So let's head back down the ladder and see if we can't find a way through this cavern. Okay, we got some more lovely waterfalls here. And another water direction thingy. This one looks far more complex.
This panel looks different from the others. It's much more elaborate.
Alright, more complex version of other panels. Timing. Again, this is another timing puzzle, and this one's a bit trickier, but we'll see if we can't do it. So let's see. This one's a pretty long one. This one has a lot of turns. This one, some fewer turns. This one is definitely last. It's the most straightforward one. So let's start at the 12 o'clock and then move in a clockwise direction to the 12, the 3, the 6, and then the 9. Let's see if we can get that to work. This might take a couple tries. I kind of see if I can get the timing right. Nope, not quite. Let me experiment with this bit. See if I can get these last two correct. Let's see. Go up there. Let's try further down here. Okay, so this one, you hit this one just as this one is right about there. There we go. Okay, so right there is when you hit that one. Nope, we need to hit this one sooner. Let's try there. So we hit this one, and that's right about there. Alright, let's try this again. Right about there at that corner there, maybe? A little bit before that. Okay, let's try this. Up there. Up there. And up there.
This must be my
Got it.
transportation to the
And look,
sanctuary.
there's our boat. Alright, off we go to the sanctuary.